As we cross into the second half of the campaign, we start to see some familiar faces, returning faces, and new faces. Some of them are expected to be here. Some don't belong. And over the next 2 episodes, we're gonna trim the dead ends, one fight at a time.
Hello everybody and welcome to BattleBots Reborn Cup Season 5, Episode 7. It's Nick and Sam, you know who we are, and you know who's left in the competition, and that's why it's getting a little interesting. Some people probably don't deserve to be here, or at least wouldn't have been expected to be here.
Yeah, it's a lot of interesting fights that are going on, and I'm excited to see what tonight's going to bring us.
Oh yeah, this is going to be an interesting set of matches.
Well, with that being said, it's time to start the second half of the season, and it's time for the round of 32. The first fight of the night, we have Biohazard versus Minotaur. This is a big test for Minotaur if he wants to prove he's a contender.
Yeah, the name Minotaur carries a lot of weight with it, and he's gotten a lot of wins in his career, but when it comes to the cup, he just seems to fall flat. He's got a good design, he's deadly, he just needs to figure it out. He needs to figure it out against the big boys.
Well, for Biohazard, it's mission nearly impossible. What will it take to beat the invertible drum spinner?
Well, we've seen how lifters and flippers can struggle against an invertible spinner, but Biohazard also knows if he paces himself, he can make it work. That's something I like to stress a lot. Maybe he can force Minotaur to stay upended longer, let the drum dig into the ground and be less effective, but it's going to be a fight of endurance, so you better be prepared for a battle.
Alright, well let's go watch that battle. Down in the box.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square, the builder might wear medical scrubs, but he's anything but an amateur schlub, ready to put you into quarantine, Biohazard! In the blue square, don't do anything to anger him. I heard he's best friends with Carol Baskin. It's Minotaur!
Before we get started, here's a quick explanation of the rules. The rules for this competition are simple. Bots have 3 minutes to destroy or immobilize their opponent. If both bots are still active when the clock expires, the result will go to a panel of 3 judges that will score the fight on a 45-point system. 4 points for damage, 5 for aggression, and 6 for control and strategy. During the scoring process, judges are encouraged to show leniency to bots with non-damaging weapons. Furthermore, pins cannot last longer than 11 seconds, and Havoc glitches that flip a non-invertible bot will be restarted unless the fight has surpassed 2 minutes. With that being said, it's time to get the action started. Let the round of 32 begin. 2 juggernauts of the class of BattleBots ready to hit each other hard here.
Yeah, it looks like Biohazard's trying to get some early missed flips in.
Gotta get those all out of the way early. Gotta be very careful when firing, because Minotaur could rip that flipper off at any moment, but there's a good first flip successfully from Biohazard. Now we'll see if Minotaur can get back the right side up, and he does for a brief moment. Biohazard flips him again.
Biohazard making sure he takes advantage of the moments where he's trying to self-right.
Oh, is Minotaur gonna get stuck in his side? Nearly. That's another avenue at which Biohazard could win this fight. It's just the least likely. He moves in again with another flip.
Minotaur can't seem to get back on his wheels.
Biohazard taking a very aggressive approach. Is this the moment? This might be the moment. Minotaur stuck. And Biohazard wheels away in celebration. Is Minotaur gonna shake out of this or not? They're counting him out already.
He seems to be a little bit wobbly, but it doesn't look like he's gonna get out.
Can he save himself, or is he gonna run out of time? He's out of time! Biohazard's done it. Well, after a few early missed flips, it seemed like Biohazard got them out of his system and then took complete control of the match.
Yeah, it seemed that Biohazard was really trying from the beginning to get under him, and he succeeded. Minotaur really couldn't self-right.
He never gave him a chance, Biohazard, and what a way to win it, convincingly and early. Biohazard moving on.
See, the other way Biohazard could have won is the voodoo route. I just didn't mention it because I didn't think he had a chance at getting it.
Right, well,
It's awesome.
outcome is the outcome.
Congratulations, Biohazard.
Going into the second fight of the night, we have Hydra versus BiteForce. These two have come a long way already in this tournament.
That's right, both bots will be having their fourth match of the tournament right now because they both started in the first round of qualifying. And of the 6 fights, 5 knockouts between these two. It's going to be an entertaining battle.
Well, who has the potential to go farther, and should they win now?
I'm going to say BiteForce because we know flippers eventually meet their demise in BattleBots Reborn Cup. So it would be annoying to see another spinner in. We usually end up getting to this stage with a lot of spinners left. But if the better robot wins, I don't think we're going to care in the end.
Yep. Let's see who is the better robot.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square, they say this creature has many heads, and that's what's gonna be rolling when you fight him. It's Hydra! In the blue square, he's eaten so many opponents, you could call him a Cannabot. What time is it? Dinner time. It's BiteForce!
Let the bot battle begin. Who will grab their 4th win of the season? Who will crash out? We'll see if Hydra can get underneath BiteForce. He did there. Not a successful flip.
BiteForce doing a semi-decent job at keeping Hydra in front of him and not getting...
Well, he's got him smoking is what he's done, and he's won it! Immediate! Well, we're finding out with this BiteForce design, if you give him one chance, that's it sometimes.
Yeah, from the get-go, Hydra was doing his best to get under him, got under him once, and then lost, really.
Never saw another chance. BiteForce convincing once again.
Well, make that 4 knockout wins for BiteForce now. He's looking scary. Like, he might actually go all the way. You know, his opponents are getting tougher, too, and he's knocking them out like it's nothing.
Yeah, he's got a crazy set of statistics on him with that 4-0. So he could very well go all the way.
Pretty low average knockout time as well.
Right. Well, into the third match of the night, we have Ultraviolent versus Wipeout. Last year, these two battled it out in a nail-biter.
Yeah, last year was a real slugfest between these two. We watched Ultraviolet try and fail to get Wipeout, who wasn't invertible then, over on his back, and it ended up going the distance. It was only a 3-point margin, which was probably surprising, but the right bot won that fight.
Well, Wipeout has the only changes. How will his new build affect the outcome?
Well, considering now he is invertible, it's a lot harder now for Ultraviolent. He's also smaller, which means it's going to be tougher for Ultraviolent to avoid spikes and get onto that flat flush side to try and get a good attack on. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wipeout finds a way to win this again after the way he manhandled Ultraviolent last year.
Let's see which bot is going to pout at the end of this match.
Aww.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square, don't waste his time, or he'll expect you to pay him back. Unlike Tom Nook, he's got connections and a bat. It's Ultraviolent! In the blue square, look but don't touch. His spikes will teach you such. He may not look like much, but he's about to come in clutch. Good night, Ultraviolent. It's Wipeout!
Let rematch number 1 begin. How will Ultraviolent approach it this time? He's already gone with the box rush. He's underneath Wipeout again, driving him into the wall. Good shove.
Yeah, almost had him there.
Wipeout, of course, invertible. We don't know how well he'll work when having to drive inverted, but it's on the cards. Ultraviolent getting a little character now, looking a little sluggish. There goes a piece.
There were some good hits on the wheels from Wipeout.
Wipeout sitting and spinning, that's the motto. Bot designed this year to now spin at all times so that he can't really bait opponents in. I see an arm off of Ultraviolent. The left arm has been ripped off. He moves in again. This is eerily similar to how it was the last fight. Another wedge piece is off as Ultraviolent then goes over the kill saws. Oh, what's he doing there, Ultraviolent? Backing in, losing a wheel in the process.
Not the smartest thing to do.
A huge mistake by Ultraviolent that's now going to cost him as he gets shoved into the wall again. Wipeout the moving hazard, really effective so far.
Ultraviolent really doing his best to try and get under him, but it's just exposing the wheels more and more as he lost another.
Yep, speaking of which, 2 wheels gone now. Ultraviolent doesn't have the pushing power to get Wipeout near any of the hazards.
Lost some of the wedges up front as well.
It's almost non-existent as we hit the halfway point of this fight. He's definitely looking worse for wear. Doing worse than he did last season. And Wipeout, is he going to get his knockout this year? Oh, and he gets a 3rd wheel on the left side. Ultraviolent smoking. The wedge is gone.
One more hit and he's done.
He's clinging on for dear life as Wipeout slowly but surely stalks him down and finishes the fight. Well, we always love a good rematch in the Cup. This one was fairly entertaining as it goes the same way as it did last year.
Yeah, Ultraviolent really loved to lose those wheels.
It's true, it's true. The wedge took quite a beating as the fight went on, losing piece after piece.
He really did try to hold a strategy, which was getting underneath him, maybe stopping him from spinning, but again, every hit that he took just exposed his wheels.
Wipeout makes it 2-0 over Ultraviolent, and he makes it another round of 16 appearance.
Well, good to see that Wipeout got the knockout win there. You know, he didn't leave any doubt in anyone's minds. It was a convincing victory again for him.
Agreed. Now we have a main fight to get to, but before we do that, we're going to check out some of these highlighted fights.
Don't worry, not many more of them.
Yes, correct.
So that convincing win for Wipeout means another rematch is on the cards, assuming the champ takes care of business. Speaking of which, how did he and the other bots in this side fare? Well, first up, Spitfire set his sights on back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances, but he had high-flying Tantrum standing in his way. Tantrum offered no sympathy and pulled no punches. Spitfire ducked and weaved his way around the box, but it only delayed the inevitable. Tantrum brought the beat down and moved on. Overhaul saw his tournament last year end at the hands of the Matador. In this season, he looked to take down one of his brothers. Bronco's superior size and pace gave Overhaul no chance, and it didn't take long for the flipper to find himself in victory lane. Lucky looked to assert himself as a consistent threat to the field, while Ghost Raptor looked to enter top-tier status. Early on, Lucky put on a clinic, tossing Ghost Raptor like a salad. Then Ghost Raptor forced his way back, even causing significant damage. Lucky pushed harder and dug deep. And in the end, Ghost Raptor was a distant second. And finally, the champ returned to the ring, eager to return to the trophy ceremony, but free shipping was ready to bring the heat. And bring the heat is exactly what free shipping did, as he showered the champ at every opportunity. But the task was always going to be tough, and Tombstone's resilience turned the fire into a measly spark. So with the Season 4 semi-final rematch confirmed, it's time to head over to our main event. It's another rematch, but one more memorable for its controversial outcome.
It really did suck choosing which 4 fights we had to show here, because we've had some absolute banger fights in this section of the bracket, and if you want to see how they all turned out in their full lengths, you know where to go. Check out the description for the link to our Patreon page. All you have to do is be on the lowest tier. Some fun shiz. $1 a month.
It's only $1.
Chump change.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Yeah. Alright, into the main fight for the night. We have Stinger versus Witch Doctor. These two had a controversial match way back in Season 2.
Yep, this is a landmark fight from BattleBots Reborn Cup Season 2. When they fought in the first round, Stinger was dominant for the most part until Witch Doctor's static wedge was taking off pieces of Stinger. The result went Witch Doctor's way due to damage, and that forever changed the complexion of how the cup worked and how the bots were built, because then after that we added in the non-damaging ram plate for bots like Witch Doctor and Brutus at the time and a lot of other bots.
Well, a lot has changed since then. Who do you like in this match and why?
Well, they're both pretty heavy, they both got some good weapons, but I think I will take Stinger like I did 3 years ago. He's got a lot of stacking in the wedge and in the wheel department. I don't see Witch Doctor's wedge setup being low enough to combat the lower looking wedge, at least, of Stinger. And yes, Witch Doctor has the self-righting mechanism, could be a big game changer in this match, but I don't know, I think Stinger's got this.
Alright, well let's go watch. Down in the box.
Should be a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? It's robot fighting time! In the red square, take a deep breath before the fight starts. It'll be your last chance until it ends. Bring in the ringer, it's Stinger! In the blue square, this bot wanted me to show you a meme for his intro, but Spitfire stole it for him, so he's gonna show you a proper ass kicking instead. It's Witch Doctor!
Let the main event begin. Stinger with a box rush early on, trying to prove that he's here, he means business. But it's Witch Doctor underneath now, getting some early damage. Can Stinger get away? Just barely. This will be a fight that a lot of fans were anticipating once they saw the two lined up next to each other. Stinger getting underneath, trying to push Witch Doctor with his butt, but he slips off.
I don't know whose strategy is working better. Stinger trying to get underneath Witch Doctor, or Witch Doctor waiting for those flubs.
Oh!
There's a wheel.
Wheel gone off of Stinger with a mistake, a poor attack, and early advantage Witch Doctor. Stinger still got 5 wheels, so how can he cope? The width of his wedge seems to be bigger than or equal to Witch Doctor's width in general. But he's having a hard time getting under.
Yeah, I don't know if the angle of the wedge is doing him any favors.
And there goes a piece of the wedge flying off!
And another wheel!
Amazing! Stinger is crumbling! Surely a match he was anticipating for the last 3 years, been waiting for a moment like this, and he's falling apart. I think he lost more wedge. Incredible what Witch Doctor is doing here.
Stinger now smoking, Witch Doctor aiming to get the rest of the wedge, and trying to get that last wheel on that left side.
2 gone on the left side of Stinger, half of the wedge remains. You can see him really struggling to turn. Almost might be beneficial to lose a wheel or 2 on the other side to even it out maybe. Witch Doctor in hot pursuit of the heated Stinger machine, which looks like it's ready to combust.
You two doing a dance.
Little do-si-do or something there, not the time for this. Stinger, you gotta fight to win, or just keep losing as the rest of the wedge is gone. He is now weaponless.
I don't think there's much for Stinger to do at this part.
Well, this might be a deadly Witch Doctor we're looking at. Take a good look at him, because he might be going far in this tournament. And there goes another wheel from Stinger, down to 3. It's been an abysmal night for Stinger in the huge rematch that was presented here. Witch Doctor making a statement to the rest of the bots in the tournament that he's the real deal. Stinger now trying to survive. Wouldn't even matter if it goes the distance. I think we all know, based on the parts scattered all across the box, who's going to win this fight.
Yeah, there's no question there.
All that remains to be answered is Witch Doctor going to get his knockout? He's got a 4th wheel. Can he get all 6?
Stinger probably more evenly balanced now with just those 2 wheels on either side.
Unfortunately, it's going to be a little too late as the clock hits 0. Stinger survives, but he's going out. Well, I must say, I was one of the many people anticipating this rematch when it came up. And I must say, I'm disappointed with how one-sided it ended up going.
At the beginning, it seemed that Stinger was going to go a little further than he did. He was able to get underneath Witch Doctor, at least I think twice, but then it just started to turn.
Witch Doctor maybe doesn't have a low wedge, but looks like the weapon was hitting low enough to clip wedges. That could be huge for him in future fights.
And Stinger's angled wedge seemed to not do him any good.
Well, we know who won, but we have to make it official. Let's put a number on this fight. So Witch Doctor takes the result convincingly and leaves Stinger to wonder what went wrong.
And we're back! And indeed it was a very good fight.
Unfortunately, not for Stinger.
Yes, unfortunately.
It's pretty brutal. Can't believe he made it to this.
Well, tonight's episode ended very well.
Whale shucks!
Well, tonight's episode ended very well. Thank you for watching. Hope you come back next time. I'm the Sam.
I'm the Nick. I don't know, you were on a roll there. You could have kept going.
Goodbye.